Thank you. So I'll be talking about ethics in publication and academic evaluation. Ethics in mathematics and science. It's actually more than just mathematics and science. That's me. I'd like to start with the ethics side. Start my way with ethics. It says people have to realize the world is about people. It's not about him or her or him. It's about me. If I'm jealous of, don't ask for me. That's not just how I see it. That's how the whole world sees it. They say it's all about me. That realization, everybody says it's about me, is what is called doing that. And the moody, sulky child see the world revolving around them. As they grow up, they learn that they have to earn what they can get. And that is what is called being sensible. But that does not make people wisdom is the subsequent realization that the world is indeed about them and is about me only because I'm part of their world. I do not only have to earn what I get. I have to do that which needs to be done. Regardless of it. There are three worlds. There is the world of is, of I want. There is the world of is, and there is the world of should be. Our initial motivation comes from the present. It's all about me. For pure science, we have to move on to the second world, which does not care about me. What I want may not even be possible. Because technology of light science is the attempt to bring the second world into line with the first, to line with what I want. For the first world, we have to listen to our emotions, our desires. For the second, we have to observe and experiment, to acquire information on what is. But I'm concerned with the third world. Once again, we have to look into ourselves, but no longer simply to see our desires. We should be able to see that which should be done. How can we separate our desires from what is right? I think with an interlude, it's a reminiscence of myself. As a graduate student at Birkbeck College, London University, I volunteered to be part of the psychology experiment. They put me in a room. They told me that somebody and I would be given questions to solve in a two-person team, repeating the activity. The winning team would get a £5. The one of the team who solved more questions first would select from a list of chairs how much each of them would. At the end, I was told that our team won, and I had solved 70% of the test. Now I looked down the list of proportions, and there was no 50%. I chose the closest, 51% for me, 49% for my partner. When they asked why, I said, well, we worked as a team, so it should be half and half. Since there's no half and half, I did more work, so I get the 51%. My partner gets 49%. This is all confidential, so I'm just giving my decision on it. And of course, I was told that there was no money, no reward, it was just a test. They apologized for deceiving me and said it was for their experiment, they had no funds for it. I was already rewarded for participation in the experiment. Because now I knew the answers. Getting back to the question, how can we separate our desires from what is right? The simplest way is to put yourself in the place of the other and see how you would like to be at the receiving end of things that you should out. Or for others to get benefits that should come to you. Can you then ask God for answer? You case yourself by mistakes. And the other by Mr. Y. Should you get what is right for you? This is the simplest, but it is good. But it is not good enough. You need to do more. When asked what more there is to be done, perhaps saying that I'm doing what George Bush does, you have to do more. Regardless. I'm not following the Americans in saying that more. See, putting yourself into the other's place, you judge them with your background and your advantage. But they never had them. You must put them in their background. You see the world through their eyes and then judge. Justice must be tempered. Can we then judge it all, or do we just accept whatever? We have to see what the outcome of attempting or not will be, of accepting or not will be. If we damage the society more than we do good to the individual, despite mercy, we must dispense justice. The final touchstone is whether after the event we feel within the circumstances we would make the same choice again. There are the three pillars of it. Live for them and die for them. Now I'd like to go shift to next. World ranking of university. Become very relevant in the third world. Third world countries try to rank universities, but in fact there are many rankings, and each ranking is totally different ranks and different indices within one system. Firstly, they fluctuate widely. I'll be given. I'm going to stick with just the one ranking, the nature ranking. It's a science. It's based on publications in their choice of some 70 science journals. And in that, they have three indices. I won't bother with what those indices are, but they're just called AC, FC, and W. And according to them, the third is the most reliable.
Excuse me, I was going to ask what the acronyms stand for.
Sorry?
I was just going to ask what the acronyms stand for. ACFC and W.
I don't remember. I looked it up at the time, but I don't remember what they stood for. I can provide the link to nature ranking, and there one just has to look it up. So, I became aware of this in 2016 when the director of one university in Pakistan, CIIT, claimed that his university is ranked number one in Pakistan, according to Nature. And he gave him the link. Actually, he didn't even say according to nature, he said we are number one in Pakistan. And then when I asked, it turned out next day it was for nature, which is very prestigious. It turned out that the WFC Pakistan in the 2015 rankings was 20.6. But the CIIT was 4.9. Punjab University was next. Now, one uses the Poisson distribution. After all, that would be the relevant one. Fluctuations of 1 sigma would be 4.54. 4.93, these are fluctuations. I went to the global ranking and found USA. The 16,536, take the square root 128.6, and the top 10 ranging from 259 to 579. The ranking makes statistical sense. This number, there's America, and that's number one, and there is very great sense. It's instructive to see the fluctuations from one year to the next in these two countries, which I noted, Pakistan and America. And I will include South Africa for local interest. There's Pakistan. Total here, Punjab University this, CIIT this. Suddenly, Punjab University way up there, this is here, this is the 1 sigma. This is in another year. Go to South Africa. Cape Town top. Wits next. Not sure what I see. That's next. Notice the standard deviation. This here we are. Go to America. Harvard, Stanford, MIT, UC Berkeley, Yale, UC San Diego. It makes very good sense for America. It didn't seem to make much sense here. It didn't seem to make any sense here. For the USA, note that the total index went down in 1 year by 1,189. That looks a large number. The top university went down by about 35 in its total, and the lowest went down to 27. In the context of USA, this is not too much. However, for Pakistan, the difference of about 9 in the total is large, and Punjab University has jumped up by a factor of 3. It was 3, it's now 9, just suddenly, 1 year to the next. What sense does that make? Variation of ranking by the 3 indices is also to be seen. USA by AC, there is the same for the top 4, and only changes at number 5 where Caltech comes in. By FC, it goes like the AC. For South Africa, by AC, UCT 195, WITS 128, by UWC 95, and by FC, UCT 20.03, UWC 13.68, the NWU 13.14, and look at WITS is nowhere in the running, it's at number 5. I'm not going that far here. Depends on what you want to, what index you choose to use. I want to WITS, so I won't use this index. Okay, somebody else says, I'm from NWU. We're higher than WITS. Why not? For Pakistan by AC, it is the National Center for Physics. It isn't a university. It takes students from Qadir University. It's counted separately. research at the top, QAU 40, CIIT 38, and my FC, notice there's no Punjab University here, but that's number 2 and 1 over here by FC. CIIT is here, and GCU is there, and MaSS isn't anywhere. But otherwise, MaSS is the top ranked university, if you choose my ranking. I just have to choose my ranking right. Fluctuations, you see, are wild in the third world. The more third the world, the wilder the fluctuation. We see why the first world loses easily and why they become progressively meaningless as we move away from the origin. Now, did you notice the decimal places given? All those decimal places. There's that big standard deviation, all those decimal places given. Why the decimal places? You see, it lends spurious credibility to it. I have measured it that precisely. This is actually the correct answer. Because I give you down to 2, 3, 4 decimal places. They mean nothing. It is fluctuations. It's all fluctuations. The third world has no business using this. I wrote an article which I entitled Third World Ranking, Academic Ranking Mania, counting hairs from old heads that are periodically changed. What are we talking about when we do this? Another criterion for ranking universities, and hence citation, scientists and citations. Let's see how they use it in Geneva. They only use senior author papers. Now, many authors do these experimental papers, a few hundred. Anybody know the maximum number of co-authors in a single paper? Anybody have a guess? Come on, what guess?
I saw the citation listing for the Atlas experiment, and it had something like 3,000 names on it. 3,000, about 3,000.
We're down to date. 5,134.
The guy do.
What do they do? They take large authorship as it is. The senior author is not necessarily the person in the list because that's alphabetic. But they separately write a technical report. And the senior author writes the technical report. So everybody knows who the senior author is, and then the paper is written. So they get that information, and then they use that. They're looking at these applications in classes, more than 10,000 citations, more than 5,000 citations, more than 1,000 citations, but they use them to shortlist for postdocs. Postdocs, not for professors or anything, they're shortlisting for postdocs, who are then peer-reviewed. There are a few thousand applicants. They're going to shortlist 30. They're going to put in 5 in each list and 6 groups of these, because there are 6 groups who get 1 postdoc each. And those 5 will then be sent there, and they'll be peer-reviewed and interviewed and re-reviewed, and then one is selected. 1 postdoc is selected. Originally, when JCR brought out these indices, they used to warn at the beginning of each issue that they were for use for libraries. They had to decide on what journals they want. And they said specifically, not relating individual researchers. Explicitly. Later this volume was dispensed with. It still has not really this before. The index was not too bad to start with, but then things started to follow. Before I go to this, let me just say that when you go with citations, what are you actually doing? You would say this paper has been cited so many times. Okay. What's being said about the paper? Was it this paper has broken new ground is absolutely fundamental for any further development? Or does it say this paper put together one can go places? Or does it say there is this list of papers which this work is addressed? There's this list of papers in which this other list is addressed, other work is addressed. There's this list of papers in which other work is addressed. But I'm not going to do any of these. I'm going to do this work and then proceed on. What's the point of coincident criticism? You see, when I'm writing the paper, I don't know who the reviewer is. Maybe this slot, this slot, this slot, anyone in between. So I have referred to them, and they will now take a nice immediate view of my work. These are culture citations. But then there are other citations. This idiot doesn't know what he is doing. This charlatan has totally taken things out of context and he's got it all wrong. He has just made a mockery of the word. There is this chap who is saying this. He doesn't know what he is talking about. This is total rubbish, and I can prove it. In Pakistan, there was one person, chemist, who worked on cold fusion, and he wrote a paper that got published in one of the top journals. And that paper then got jumped with all the type of comments I just made by the top people, because cold fusion, despite being cold, was a really hot topic. And so it really attracted people all around, and they went. Then you had Nobel laureates writing on it. And they wrote in the top journals. So it's cited heavily in the top journals. To cut a long story short, the man got a fairly high civil award for that work. And that's my case. I'd like to make this point: citations can't be taken seriously. The impact factors can't be taken seriously. What they're saying is, I don't care whether the paper is good or not, it's published in such and such a good journal. Nobody may ever cite it, but it's in a good journal. That's good enough for me. These are the criteria that we're talking about. So, I go with the impact factors. I met Rajagopal, who was famous in the area of fluid mechanics. And there was a conference arranged, I think, by Ghana. George Blumen was visiting there as well. And in a seminar, George asked Rajagopal to comment on the use of dimensional analysis as fluid mechanics. And I watched him floundering for an answer. How could a famous man like that be floundering for an answer? Well, Rajagopal had become editor in his area for one journal. And he let it be known that those and only his papers would be published excitedly. Their validity was not applied. So many people cited him that his reputation rose. Consequently, more journals appointed him as editor, And he rose higher and faster and went on rising. You see the prescription for an exponential. Sounds like a fairy tale. Now I go to the curious case. There was a Professor M. Asghar at CoE-MaSS who worked on relational inequalities. In one paper he published, 1 year he published 114 papers. And Tasawar had criticized him. This work isn't meaningful. How can it be that one person can publish so many papers? You can't do actual research and publish. They must be trivial or plagiarized. And he had criticized the Raja Gopal for his unethical practices. Now let us look at the publication dates of the same Dr. Tasawar Hayat, the last decade, the period immediately after his criticism of Asghar, and some time after his condemnation. In 2004, 29 papers. 2005, 10. 2006, 28. 2007, 49. Nothing dramatic there. 2008, 18 papers. 2009, 55. 2010, 76. 2011, 96. 8 papers per month. 2012, 106. 2014, 2015, 178. 2016, 269.
What's the average length of these papers?
Up to 31/7, 2017, 277. To 28, 280. But it's gone up to 2 days, 3 papers. To 38, 284. To 88, 292. What happened? 24/8 yesterday. Yesterday. How many days are there up to now? 200, is it? 214 or so? Yes. 316 papers. What has happened to the subject? He's reviewed for a number of journals and takes on the whole. The papers that he judges to be acceptable, when does he get the time to decide that they're acceptable? He gives them to different students to select 20 papers of theirs, with the subject's name, of course, included, to say that this literature must be referred to and then accepts. The subject has become rather a file. That's what's happened. Now I'd like to do an analysis of what's going on. You see, the problem is that these initially innocuous things have become a serious danger because of a positive feedback which creates an instability and resonance. You saw the exponential growth in the publications that I just showed. In terms of biology, if I may shift to that field, there's a process of natural selection here for unethical behavior. The more unethical follow the unethical practices of the editors and become editors, and so it will select for unethical behavior. In the jungle of journals, lead of tooth and toe, the unethical behavior. Ethics in publications. I'd like to just go a little bit with some things that I want to say. We say, into science and mathematics with stars in our eyes, and a driving desire to know, to find out how the world works, as James Clerk Maxwell, as a child, put it. What is the goal of it? What makes it work? How can it get to do what it is doing? Is it not then a pity that when we enter the rat race of academia, the burning desire to know metaphors into a burning desire to accomplish, and we lose what we came for? How then do we decide what to do? Is it enough to do something never done before? Or is it to boldly go where no one has gone before? Well, not everything that you can do is worth it. I just consider this. Add 200-digit numbers generated randomly. The chances that the sum was ever done before are 10 to the minus 2. Nobody's done that. So no one has added them before. Is it worth doing? Instead of adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, or constructing some new binary operation, doesn't make it better, it only makes it worse. It's more unlikely that the problem has ever been done before, but it hasn't become more worthwhile. Instead of those numbers, randomly choosing the functions to put together by some arbitrary procedure, makes it still worse. I can choose infinitely more functions. I mean, when I say infinitely more, I mean infinitely more. It's a cardinality too. It makes it only worse. There's an example of make work. If you make it sufficiently complicated, these days you may get away with publishing it. It won't be worth publishing. One needs to know what the outstanding problems were, whose solution was sought, and how they were solved. In the context of what is being done before, we can find work that is genuinely publishing. But even if it is publishing, that does not make it worth publishing. Then there are results that you find that you want to shout out from the rooftops. Just look at it, look what I've got. And that is worth it. Obviously, taking what others have done and claiming it as your own is worse than useless. It is like looking up the answer to a puzzle and it's unethical. Obviously, changing what others have done so that it looks different does not help. It must be different. You must know it's different. Obviously, taking your own work and rehashing it is no better because we knew. When we decide on the criteria to evaluate academics, we must be clear what we want from them. And second is a self-evident truth. No, Aristotle had all these self-evident truths. For me, it's simple as a self-evident truth that we need more PhDs. Is that so? I can get you 100% PhDs by the end of this year. All I have to do is declare that everybody who puts a cross in front of his name is Dr. What we want is the capability of the PhD, not the slip of paper of the PhD. It is taken, again, as a self-evident truth that those who publish those are better. It is that so. That those who publish more are better. Is that so? The research will be used in the first world and not in the third. If it is theoretical, it will benefit the most developed. Even if it is applied or experimental. In any case, the purpose of industry is to apply research. Academics are not in that business. It's not our business to provide application of research. Our business is to produce human resources, high quality human resources. That's what the universities are. Does the research help them produce better or more resources? The point is that they're supposed to increase the ability for their students to think and be able to solve problems that arise. They must be able to communicate their understanding. That's the purpose. All that research is not to publish. Publication is not for developing the two resources. It is to satisfy the administrators that we are doing so. We're not actually supposed to be working to convince administrators. We're supposed to be producing good resources. We know what are good for them. You don't have to tell other people, look, I have this criterion to see. The point is they're supposed to do this. They must be able to do this, so let's look for that. Unlimited publication and unlimited research are of no use. It is the ability to understand and resolve problems and to tell others how to do so. It is the job of people. That is the ability we have to do. The problem is the race for rankings, individual and institutional, not just for each individual scientist. The universities are similarly locked in their race. It is the race for ranking universities that is the worst. So I claim that the universities, instead of following the stampede of the levels of the cliff in the sea, the universities must educate people on what to expect of it, not to just follow the herd. Harvard and Princeton and Yale, Oxford and Cambridge and Imperial College and Moscow do not face this problem because their decision is made independently. In fact, the rankings try to find measures that will put these at the top of the list. Because if those rankings don't, nobody will believe. So the rankings will fit at the top. What happens lower down is not there. It is. There's a song by Tom Mayer, which was Weather from Dawn. I think a little bit unfair to Weather from Dawn thing. Once the rocket is up, who cares where it comes down? That's not my department. The experts say people get educated to make money. And the experts know they don't do it. I mean, Oda was not allowed to study mathematics. And she persisted till she was allowed. Then she taught at Groningen for free. Didn't get a penny for doing so. But the experts say she wanted to make money. I'm sure they know what they talk. There's the Pakistani Malala. She faced bullets because she wanted to study. But the experts say she wanted to make money. I'm sure they know what they do. In judgment, we are fed to brutish beasts in many of our stories. Long ago, Adam Smith said that the rational man maximizes his profit. Of course, in those days there were only men who women. Never heard of women. Before that, people used to happily work for their families, their communities, and their countries. But Smith said that this was irrational. Smith knew it was not. Who appointed Smith the keeper of my rationality? I say Smith was irrational. His best possible society that he is giving me there is maximally competitive. But that's an oxymoron. If it is a society, it is cooperative. By definition, it is cooperative. This is the big contribution from von Neumann, which was developed further by John Nash and got him the Nobel Prize. How you get cooperation developed, not just competition. That's where you begin to get an understanding of how society works. So there, Mr. Smith, if you don't believe Smith, why do you accept the experts on evaluation mathematics? Once we accept them, we get the 7 here. 350. Forget the stars, man.